Hello and welcome to the B4 project. There's a narrative we don't question a lot, and that is if you had a present father, then things must be easier, clearer, or much more smoother. But presence doesn't remove pressure. Sometimes presence introduces pressure. And at some point, every son will wrestle with the fact that they either become the father they have seen or never to become that kind of a person. Today, we discuss fatherhood, and this is the B4 project. Welcome, my friend Lenin.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The first time I met you, I was in baby class, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A couple of decades
Yes.
ago. Yeah.
And I remember this time, I think I messed up. I soiled my shorts. I know you are going to laugh. And
Yeah.
you really helped me because it was it can be a shameful moment for
It
a
can
kid
be. It can be.
to soil their pants and then, have someone help sort that out. So, welcome, Lenin. I've known you for more than 90% of my life.
That's true.
We've known
That's
each other
true.
for a long, long time.
Yes.
And thank you for accepting this invitation.
No, it's a privilege to be here, to be
Yeah.
very honest. Yeah.
Yeah. So today we are going to talk about fatherhood. And a lot of the conversation around fatherhood is based on absent fathers. But you and I have been lucky to have present fathers and real present fathers.
That's true.
But before we get into that, I want you to introduce yourself. But what I want you to do is to introduce yourself without talking about your career, your education. Who is Lenin?
A good one. I wish we had prepared for this, but I'm happy we didn't.
Yeah.
So Lenin is first of three boys. I have two brothers. Lenin is an introvert. Lenin is a dreamer, and Lenin is a father of two boys.
Yeah.
Something I consider as my first career, and everything else is a side hustle.
Yeah.
So Lenin is someone who has a relentless quest to see the best out of people and to see the best out of the two boys, who are my purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said Lenin is a father of two boys.
Yes.
And we will get into that. Take me back to Lenin's childhood. How was it?
I say I had a very interesting childhood.
Yeah.
I feel I had a complete childhood, and I feel I had a childhood that had, I think, all the facets that a child should experience growing up. And just reflecting on how I grew up and how we grew up as three boys in the household. Some things didn't make sense as young children in the home. And I'm starting to realize some things even as I'm turning 40 right now, about my dad, about how we grew up, about the childhood itself.
Yeah.
We were very naughty as boys. We broke stuff in the house.
Yes. Vunja kabisa.
I remember since you're boys in the house, you'd get to the kitchen. So every time we were told to go and cook some beans, we always had to have this thing of, I need to taste it. And you'd find you taste like 3 cups of beans out of what you're cooking. Then you leave very little to be eaten in the house.
Yeah.
And sometimes we'd be whooped for it. Sometimes we'd get away with it. But most importantly, a lot in my childhood has defined me to the man I am today.
Yeah.
And I remember as when I was in baby class and before I even got to class 1,
Yes.
my dad was employed for I think a year. Yeah, pretty much it. Then he went into a business that is printing press. So my dad has been printing diaries, calendars, exam papers, pretty much anything he can get his hands to print.
Yeah.
And that's what has schooled us. That's what has brought us to where we are today. But some of the things that happened as a child that I'm getting to really appreciate nowadays is my dad used to, especially me, carry me with him when he went to his small office in town. That's in Kisumu.
Yes.
For those who know Kisumu,
Yeah.
a very small, tiny office. And he would work and he would put me next to the typewriter, and I would just see him do his things. Joining the dots backwards, I got to realize my ambition to lead pretty much started from there. And my quest to be a CEO of a company started from there. The route to that is possibly through employment, because I realize I'm not an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
But my quest to sit in a position where I'm able to lead and run a company actually came from looking at my dad and him taking me to the office every day.
Yeah.
There I was just playing, but right now I realize a lot of that stacked up. As a child, my mom, of course, is a teacher, retired teacher, and TSC. They will always send them to different locations every single time.
Yeah.
And that means sometimes she'd be away for weeks, sometimes months, sometimes she'd go for weekdays and come over the weekend, and it would just be us guys and our dad.
Yeah.
And I used to see him so tired some days. I used to see him so reflective on some days. But back then I didn't know perhaps this man is just battling so many things.
Yeah.
But what was constant is every time my dad will look at myself and my brothers, you would see a love that you cannot explain. You would see someone who really wants you guys to be better than themselves, something that's very hard for people to do.
Yeah.
You see someone who's trying to sacrifice all his time and everything in him to see you guys become better than anything that he's possibly dreamed of. I would see him sacrifice. I would see us sometimes lack, but he would put a straight face on and tell us everything is gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes fees would be a challenge. Would be sent home for a day. The next day negotiates. We're back in school.
Yes.
When business is not shaping up and taking shape. As a child, I never used to understand that. But as a man with two sons,
Yes.
I understand the struggle that guy pretty much went through. And that's where I get a lot of appreciation. So as children, I got the freedom to be a child. I played. I hurt myself. We broke things.
Yes.
We went to hospital. We experimented with stuff. We went catching tadpoles thinking they're fish, bringing them to the house.
Yeah.
We would abscond, showering at some point and be
Yes.
scolded for it. And I think I experienced all those moments growing up in Kisumu, which was a very interesting town.
Yes.
And I feel I got a complete childhood, and I didn't miss any bit of it from the tough parts, from the parts where we were being disciplined, from the parts where we were allowed to be children, and from the parts where we just evolved growing up to be a man. Yeah.
You bring that out so well, and that evolution, from you seeing hard work modeled by a man you really admire, a man who is a symbol for you. Every son, when they are growing up, they go through several stages with their father. The first stage typically is an idol. You see your dad as an idol, so you idolize him. And as you move into your later years, your teenage, you're basically trying to find your own footing. So you see your dad sort of almost like a demon. So you move from idolizing him to then to demonizing him. But then you move to this phase of your life where you become a father yourself, or you become a man. And then you realize that your father was doing probably all he could at that time. So you humanize him.
Yeah.
So in these three stages, moving from idolizing him to demonizing him to humanizing your father, it's a very complex interplay for many men. And for us, or for you whose father was present throughout these stages, I want you to maybe take me through some of the key milestone areas in terms of, I think you've spoken about idolizing him. So you see the hard work that dad does. You put it that he had a small shop, but I don't necessarily think it's a small shop. It's the impact that this particular space had in your life. And then second stage. So I want you to take me through maybe in the terms of the struggles that you had with your dad in in the second stage of demonizing. So you move from idolizing him to demonizing him. How did that transition work? And then eventually now humanizing him based on some of the challenges that you have seen as a man and as a father.
True. It's complex.
Yeah.
It's been an interesting journey, but looking back, those three stages now make sense.
Yeah.
What I want to say before I walk you through is when you're in that season, where you're idolizing your dad, sometimes you don't appreciate enough that of doing that.
Yeah.
When you're when you're tussling with your dad, you don't get to see the fact that maybe you're looking for your identity at the same time.
Yes.
He's trying to shape you into the identity that you are.
Yeah.
Then when you get to the last stage is when you start appreciating the evolution to this stage. Maybe one thing on idolizing my dad before I go to the battle is I remember being the first of three boys. And this is something I got to realize much later, that before dad and mom got me, they had lost two babies. And my birth was very traumatic. It was more of like life and death. Then I survived and I made it. And I didn't know how much this meant to my dad. And I realized some of it, this is just reflecting back when I used to idolize him in that particular stage. Because I remember in primary school, I had this quest to become number one. I never got it. I never got it. I never got it. The best I got was number two.
Yeah.
And when I got to number, I think it was sometime in class 6, I used to wake up early to read because I really wanted to beat another gentleman in our class who is well known to us.
Yeah, bad man.
Bad man. So every time I'd wake up at 5, my dad would wake up. And every time I would be revising and stuff, he would just sit beside me and, doing nothing, read a newspaper. While I read for that 1 hour, my brothers were asleep and stuff. Then we prepare for school.
Interesting.
And his presence at that time was something that I just adored. And I was like, Dad, I'm going to be number one. I never got it. But I was like, I'm going to be number one just because you're waking up and you're beside me through all this. And as a young boy, Dad spoke a lot of life into me. And I really looked up to him and like, man, I want to be like this guy. Because he always told me, you know what, you're number 4, you're always number 4, but don't worry about it. You're going to beat these 3 guys at some point. Maybe you'll not beat them in primary school, but you'll beat them later in life. So I kept motivated and I really idolized my dad through that particular season. But getting into teenagehood, you start to grow further as a boy, getting into a man, and you're trying to look for your identity. And at this particular point, you see your dad trying to give you direction as resistance, because you're like, you're trying to find your own path, and it's like, why is this person trying to tell me to be like this? Well, I want to be my own man. And those are seasons where I struggled a little bit to connect with my dad. And being the fact that growing up, my dad's way of showing you love was through action. Until much later, and I'll get to it. I mean, as children growing up and stuff, my dad would not tell you, my son, I love you. He will show you. So I didn't have the childhood of expressing that, Dad, I love you, and Dad will tell me back. I have that with my boys right now. But growing up, I didn't have that. So when you're trying to find your identity, as a young man, and growing up to be that young man, you didn't have the opportunities to express or talk about love. You would see it in action. It becomes very difficult to relate when your dad is trying to tell you, give you direction, or tell you to do this or do that. And half the time I think I was rebellious to the path. Half the time I saw my dad as someone who's pushing me against the grain, and I didn't like it. And I was like, why is this guy who I admired so much resisting what I'm trying to be or who I'm trying to become? And at some point, I felt like he was, standing in between me and the takeaway path that I needed to get to. And that was a very difficult season. And I think that was, most of high school, where you are interacting with your friends. They talk about the freedom they're getting. They talk about how they're evolving. They talk about how nobody's telling them what to do. And you come back and you want to also do the same. But you're told, no, here in this household and the way things are, these are the rules of the game. So at that point, I mean, my dad, yes, I admired him, but I felt like he was not a friend. I felt like
Yes.
he was more of like authority that's
Yes.
stopping me from going where I needed to be. And it was a very difficult
Yes.
path, or couple of years where I felt resistance, or maybe I was just being shown tough love.
Yeah.
And that went all the way to getting to campus. So my entire high school was, it's like a battle. It's like it's a push and pull with dad.
Yes.
Yes, he loves you, but it's like, why is love like this?
Yes.
Why is love so difficult? Why
Yes.
is it not like when I was younger, when he would admire me,
Yeah.
pamper me, and just push me wherever I'm going?
Yeah.
Right now, it's not, don't go there, turn this way.
This way, yeah.
Life is hard out there. You need to be thinking like this. And me, I didn't want that. I
Yes.
wanted to just be let be
Yeah.
and grow as a young teenager, evolving into a man. I mean,
Yeah.
I remember even getting out of high school, I wanted to be an aeronautical engineer because I love planes.
Yeah.
And the moment I couldn't find that course, and he was telling me, hey, you have to go to a local university and do that, I felt that as resistance. I didn't see it as someone who was guiding me and telling me, this is what is available, you need to do it.
At this point, yeah.
So that in itself was a fight with my dad.
Yeah.
And getting into campus, first year, second year is when I started seeing what my dad was doing, and what I felt as resistance and as a fight was actually him showing love.
Yes.
And him trying to get me to understand that, hey, provision is like this. This is what's possible.
Yes.
And you have to work with what's possible.
Yes.
And all is not lost. Because going to campus, I saw my dad, stretching himself to the limit. I mean,
Yes.
coming with me to campus, of course, with mom and stuff.
Yes.
Making sure I'm settled down. And I was like, man, this guy is not bad after all.
Yes.
This guy is not the enemy after all.
Yes,
This
yes.
guy is actually looking out for me, as difficult as it is. At that point, I started understanding that business can get tough.
Yes.
But he
yes.
made sure I had money
Yes.
in campus. He made sure I had provision. He made sure I was comfortable.
Yeah.
And then he would find his way back and go back and hustle. Little did I know, sometimes payments were delaying at that time, and I
yes.
didn't know where
yes.
he was getting the money
Yes,
from.
yes.
But I started seeing that much later, and it was not a smooth transition from seeing him as someone who's stopping me from growing, or as the enemy, we would call that,
Yes,
to
yes.
someone who is human, and someone who's actually very selfless, to see my very existence
Yes.
become very, very comfortable. And knowing very, very well, I had two brothers. I was
Yes.
not the only child.
Yes,
So
yes, absolutely.
if he's stretching himself like this for me, what is it doing for the three of us?
Yes.
I mean, he's probably breaking his back.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, because I go back and forth, especially when I started humanizing, or seeing the good in my dad after that teenage period of resistance.
Yes. Yeah.
Is when I started appreciating a lot of things, especially the moments it was just us and him at the home.
Yeah.
Because this guy would hustle business wise, come home, cook with us, fall asleep on the chair because he was so tired. So many times he would fall asleep on the chair.
Yeah.
And I never got to appreciate that until I became a dad.
Yeah. And I think before you go into that, because we'll dive deep into that.
Yeah.
Fathers bring structure and discipline in the lives of their children, especially their sons. And I see this is a bit emotional for both of us. But this is the point of this conversation. Tell me how you saw your dad bringing structure and discipline. Because without structure and discipline, men go wayward.
True.
Yeah. And I want you to talk about your father in terms of him bringing in structure and discipline in your life. And I see this is quite an emotional time for you. And so before we go into the humanizing aspect, and thank you for that deep conversation. And you spoke about how important it was for your parents to get you.
Yeah.
And this story actually resonates also with me. Before my parents got me, I had two older siblings who passed away. So also for them, me being the child that survived, it was a real big deal for them. And your story resonates. You and I actually, we've discussed this. We have a lot in common that we ever thought about.
That's true.
We spent a lot of time with our fathers. My mom was away studying at some point, so I also had a lot of time with my father. I remember him joining 2 seats for me to sleep just next besides him, you know.
Yeah, look at that.
So, yeah, I want you to talk about the role of structure and discipline that fathers bring, and how you try to bring that out in your own life for your children, for your sons especially, because it's really challenging.
It is.
Yeah. What do you? How would you humanize your father in terms of him bringing in structure and discipline in your life? Because I've known you. You are a very, very structured person.
Yeah.
You are an early riser. You've tried to get me to work out at 5 a.m. Imekata.
It has refused.
Yes, I always tell you, but I'll work out Johnny. But you are a very structured person, and you're a disciplined person. Yeah. So I want to maybe talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think one thing about my dad is my dad has never been late.
Oh yes, for sure. You never get late.
My dad has never been late.
Yes.
And one thing my dad taught me and my brothers growing up is the first task you do when you wake up is you spread your bed. And the discipline of waking up and spreading your bed is you have done the first task of the day.
Yes.
And he would be very firm about it because he said if you cannot do the first task of the day, there's no you'll be able to do the other tasks quite well.
Yes.
So discipline and structure started from the basic ethos of things with him.
Yeah.
One, in terms of him not being late and me and myself learning to value time much later, it's not something he kept speaking into us or myself every day. It's something we saw.
Very important.
My dad,
yes.
He was very clear. He was doing business and stuff. He was always home at 6. The reason I'm saying he's also home at 6 is as young boys growing up, 6 o'clock was always time for shower.
Yes.
That's when we would, by 5, the sufuria would be put on the jiko, the water is warmed up.
Yes.
I don't think we had
instant showers at the time. Man. We are in Kisumu.
Yeah, in Kisumu.
There's no instant shower.
So when the water would be ready,
yeah,
we would see him driving in around 6. He was 6 or 5, he was always home. And by the time we were done showering and cleaning it up and stuff, by 6:40, he was always at the dinner table waiting for us.
Yes.
This is something he did consistently for most, if not all, of our childhood. It didn't matter what was going on. It didn't matter what business was happening. As long as he was in town, for which he was for the greater part of, if not all the time.
Yeah.
He was always home by 6. He was always on the dinner table. And for me, discipline and structure started by seeing him doing these things.
Yes.
I wanted to always never be late because I saw my dad never being late.
Oh, yes.
And that eventually grew up to a value system that I uphold. And
I can
do
attest to
every time.
that, man. Bro, you're never chill. You're never late. All right.
Yeah, I'd rather be 2 hours early than 5 minutes late.
Yes.
And I beat myself up so much when I'm late for something. If it's a situation I possibly can't avoid, I would try to communicate very, very well when getting late.
Yes.
So structure and discipline started from just seeing what our dad used to do, how hard he worked, but he was always on time. Every Sunday he would make sure we're in Sunday school, irrespective of how the week was, how tired he was, or whatever happened. He would make sure that was there. And as you grow up as a child, you start seeing a pattern in things. You start seeing, but every Sunday we're in church by 8:30. We're in Sunday school. But every evening when we are going to shower, we can hear him come. And when we're done showering, he's on the table waiting for us. Dinner, then homework and stuff. Then, well, he wouldn't put us to sleep. We would just go to sleep. that was now weird. But after dinner, we would find our way to sleep.
Yes.
But just those patterns of time, those patterns of him being there and just seeing, not him telling us, started building structure and discipline in our lives as children. And going to high school, where now we were not home, or where
Yes.
I was not home,
Yes.
some of these things were natural.
Oh, yes.
You know, you wake up for morning preps, you're supposed to be in class by 5, I would be there by 4:50 because I don't want to be late.
Yes.
It's not because my dad is there in school trying to watch me around, but because my mind has been so used to it.
This
it
is
has
you
become,
now. Yes.
it is me.
Yes.
It's part of me.
Part of
And
you,
every
yeah.
time I felt I was early for a meeting, I felt I was making him proud wherever he is,
Yes.
whether he was seeing me or not.
Yes.
And, you know, starting with just one value system on discipline, it spills down to other things.
Yeah.
It spills down to how you do things. It spills down to how you show up. It goes down to how you prepare for stuff.
Yes.
And you realize, like for me, just picking that value system of time from my dad, it has helped me in so many areas and aspects of life. I realize when I'm early for meetings, I have enough time to read a brief, I have enough time to prepare, I have enough time to read the room, know
Yeah.
what to do, think
Yeah.
through the
Yeah.
engagement rather
Yeah.
than just
Yeah.
popping in at the time.
Yeah.
And this discipline and structure, it's funny thinking about it right now because it was through observing rather than listening.
Yes.
Yeah. Every time we would go, you know, even if we are playing with other kids and stuff, you know, it gets to 5:30, you start finding your way home.
Yes.
Because when it's
Yes.
time to get the water boiling, because 6
Yes.
o'clock dad is home.
Yes.
And all of us wanted to spend time with dad, you know, after his long days. And that's where discipline started. That's where structure started.
Yeah.
And it's something is consistently done to our adulthood. I'm
Yes.
almost 40 right now.
Yeah.
My dad is still never late when
Yes.
we're meeting. Still never late when I'm trying to meet him,
Yes.
or have any other engagements, and it's
Yeah.
just become
Yes.
a part of who I am. So discipline and structure, you know, started from that, and it boils down to so many other things we saw him do. But it's that seed he planted that has stuck with me, and you know, even my brothers.
So tell me about some of the areas you saw your father maybe struggled with, and that probably some of them are showing up in your life. You see, you're like, hey, this one, I also saw my dad struggle a bit with it, or just what are some of the areas that you saw him struggle with that show up in your life sometimes? And maybe what are some of the good things also, other than the structure at the
struggles.
time? What are some of the struggles and
Yeah.
you saw?
See, my dad, and I think I'm so much like him.
Yes.
My dad doesn't speak much. He tries to demonstrate and show.
Yes.
And some of the things I saw him struggle with is I felt my dad didn't have avenues to express himself or perhaps share his struggles.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when I think we were stretched or maybe things were difficult, he
Yeah.
was so much in his thoughts. I think trying to figure out
Trying
a
to work it
solution
out,
and trying to
yes.
work it out. And I
Yes.
think he worked it out by himself a lot of times.
Yes.
Maybe later he had a community or
Yeah.
a couple of
Yeah.
support system of friends around him that he would bounce ideas and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
But for the better part of childhood, he was figuring stuff out by himself. Something that I think I carried along,
Yes, yes,
seeing him
yeah.
do, and for the better part of my adulthood, I've tried to figure stuff out by myself.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The downside to that is you suffer alone, and when you suffer alone, things become really, really difficult.
Yeah.
See, when you have an avenue where you can speak, when you have a safe space where you can offload things,
Yeah.
the burden becomes lighter.
Yeah.
And I think for my dad, the burden did become lighter because he pretty much ran the full 9 yards by himself, trying to figure it out and trying to make things work.
Yeah.
Even when I think we could see he's going against the grain. And I
Yeah.
think that's something I've carried along in terms of how to struggle with things. And it took me a long time to get to a space whereby I can open up,
Yes,
I can
yes.
speak up. You know,
Yeah.
being naturally introverted, I'll try to keep stuff to myself.
And a firstborn.
And a firstborn.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
try to keep everything to yourself and only show up when you're giving a solution.
Yes.
The moment you don't have a solution, you are battling within yourself.
Yeah.
And what you don't realize sometimes when you're battling within yourself, you end up struggling. You end up self-sabotaging. And, you know, by self-sabotage is you start telling yourself you can't do it. when you actually can. You don't raise your hand enough times. I don't think I saw my dad raising his hand enough times for help or for support or just for engagement. He just wanted to be a man and figure it out. And as a man trying to figure it out, you mask a lot of your feelings. You don't let yourself feel stuff. And even in my adulthood, I didn't let myself feel stuff. I just went through things. Whether it's a tough grain or an easy grain, I just went through it. And all I wanted to do is figure stuff out, however difficult it is, but by myself. Which is a big downside that I did. So those are some of the, I would say, tougher or perhaps stuff I picked from him that showed up even in my adulthood. Until I got to a point whereby I'm able to unpack stuff. My same dad is the same dad who calls me and tells me to open up to him right now. To be vulnerable. He wasn't. And he's like playing the card forward because he's seen I've grown to be an adult. He's seen I've picked up a couple of things from him, and he's like, you know what? It's okay. It's okay to sit down and say you failed at stuff. It's okay to pick yourself up and move. It's okay to go through a difficult patch and get out of it. I think he didn't have that, but he's giving me that. So some of the negative things or tough things I picked from him, not being able to open up and unpack, especially through struggle. But there's so many positives I picked from him, which is one, I think I've never seen someone who's as resilient as that guy. I think that guy, nothing has phased him. He will pick himself up very, very quickly, dust himself and move. And I've seen that pretty much show up in my very own life, in corporate struggles, different life struggles, where failure does not become something that deters me back.
Absolutely.
I mean, I would process and go through the emotion of failure, but I would pick myself up very, very quickly, gradually, but very, very quickly, and learn from that particular failure to do better in terms of, okay, look, what lesson did I pick from this, rather than sticking to how did I stumble and fall, which is something I learned from my dad. In terms of how quickly he moves, and I'm lucky to have him around, because even as I learn to move out of failure, he's right there beside me, telling me, hey, look, it's all not lost. You're not less of a son because you fail at something, or you're not less of a son because you didn't get something right. The biggest thing is you have an opportunity to make it right. The fact that you're alive and you have someone to watch ahead of you and tell you how to make it right, which makes a whole difference when you're going through both good and bad emotions in life. I got to pick that as well from him, much as some of the attributes I saw him move and do was just bottle everything up and try to figure it out. I've also seen him picking himself up, learning from failure, and not just demonstrating and doing that, but him just being next to me and telling me, hey, look, it's not all lost, it's not all done, you can still do it. Because I remember those days he would be tired and he'll sleep on the couch because it's a long day. He has 3 boys that have to go to school the next day. I mean, those days were tough to see him like that. And I became that because I was like, you know what, I gotta figure it out like my dad. If he took everything upon himself and made sure it happened at his expense, I'm gonna do the same. And I picked that attribute for the longest time until now. I think I have a better balance. Much as I'm very introverted, I would speak about what's weighing me down. I don't feel lighter in the spaces where I'm able to unpack.
Absolutely.
And I'm not dying alone. I'm raising my hand more, and it's something I'm teaching my boys now that they're very young to raise their hands earlier. And I feel he's done me a lot of justice to still be able to come back in my adulthood and tell me, hey, look, you don't have to struggle the way I did. You can do it better because for me, it did this to me. But for you, if you're able to even use me as a safe space, you'll be a better man than myself. And for me, that's just selfless love that I don't think you can find anywhere other than having a dad who's alive to be able to take you through that.
I think, what are some of the roles of friendships for men in general, but also for fathers? And you brought to my attention some time back this idea of having the best 6 or the
last 6.
last 6. It's literally 6 people who can carry your casket.
That's true.
3 people on either side. And a lot of us walk through life without thinking that we actually walk with death.
True.
Our demise is something that is with us. If you look through the life of your father, in terms of the friendship he cultivated, and now you, as Lenin, speak through about some of the friendships that you cultivate and how that is important for men in general and for fathers in particular.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a very deep topic.
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to friendships, and I pick a lot right now. You know, my dad, he says I'm his neighbor, even back at home.
Yes.
Because our homes are next to each other.
Yes.
You know, going through the 3 stages with him, where you idolize, you battle with him, and you humanize him.
Yes.
Then the net result of that is, you know, my dad is my friend right now, and he's like a big brother that I've never had, and we talk and we relate quite well.
Yes.
But I think friendships for men is important for very many reasons, and the reason it's good you brought in the last 6.
Yes.
The reality of life is, we are all going through one tunnel at the end of the day, and death is something we avoid talking about, but it's something that's inevitable, and it will happen to any of us. But while you journey through life, and you know, I mean, could be the last 6, could be the last 4, but the reality is 6 people are going to carry that casket.
Yeah.
And I know not many people not like talking about death.
Yes, absolutely.
But in reality, if you don't have those 6 people that you trust with your life when you're gone, then you need to start finding them.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have 1 or 2, look for 4 more or something like that.
Or don't be heavy when you die.
Or don't be someone carry you. and the biggest reason for that is you need to foster intentional friendships. You need to foster true friendships.
Yes.
You need to foster clear and transparent friendships where it's not an avenue where you give and you don't get.
Yes.
It's an avenue where you sharpen each other. It's an avenue where when you climb, someone is clapping for you, and when you come down, they're ready to receive you. And I think in fatherhood, as a man, one of the biggest things, either we struggle with or not, is getting the right friendships in place.
Yes.
Because men or society has molded men to be, you have to be tough. You have to go against the grain. You have to provide. You leave the house, so many things are waiting for you, whether it's work, whether it's the school for the kids, your wife at home. So many things are weighing heavy on you. And if you don't have friendships where you can, 1, be vulnerable, 2, you can be very open to be helped, or 3, you can actually help. Is places where you end up losing if you don't have that. And you don't have to force friendships. I mean, good friendships are easy. Good friendships are smooth. Good friendships are fluid. And as men, good friendships help us to, open and unpack. Speaking in my being introverted and stuff, just getting the right friends in place and the right support system has helped me a lot. Even in building my confidence, because one of the things you struggle with, for those introverts out there, is you really want to be in your space. You don't want to be out there with crowds and stuff. But telling people I'm introverted, people would not even relate, because this is the same person who will go speak to crowds, speak to stages and stuff. But it comes from just having a close-knit community of people you can call your friends. Someone who's your friend is not someone who's just going to be there in the good times. Someone who's your friend is someone who's going to stick with you in the gutters. And that's where the true definition of friendships come through. Someone who's your friend is someone who'll pray for you, even when your star is shining and go. But when it dims, he's gonna sit down there with you and go through the motions of it. Now that's your friend. Friendships are not seasonal. Friendships are permanent. And finding the right friendships is important. You could find them at 40. You could find them at 45. You could be lucky and get them from high school. But the moment you find it and you realize it's something you have, you treasure it. So having my dad as a friend has taught me a lot about how I even relate with my friends.
Yes.
How I give my time to my friends, and even how I receive and go through the motions of nurturing and growing the friendship that I have, growing into a man. And I'm taking this down to 2 sons.
Yes.
In terms of what kind of friends are you building? What are you taking away from it? I know one is 10, the other one is 4. Not trying to complicate it.
Yes.
Trying to understand it at their level.
Yes,
In
yes.
terms of, but that is my friend because we play PS.
Yes.
Okay, fine, good.
Yeah.
This is my friend because we play football. Maybe that's what's bringing you together at the time.
Absolutely.
But as they're growing up, what I'm being very intentional about is, hey, as you build your friendships, as you grow them, this is what you need to look out for.
Yes.
This is how you should approach it, and this is what you should take away from it. So by the time these guys are 20 and 14 or something like that, they're already 10 years ahead in terms of building intentional friendship than some of us who just morphed into or stumbled into friendships
Friendship,
and they worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think as men and as society predicts, we take this thing of having friends, I think, so lightly. We think we can casually, walk into a building and, build friendships, but we don't realize how deep friendships can pretty much go, and especially how helpful it can be for men.
Yeah.
And you only realize it when you're going against the grain. You only realize it when things are not going right, that you actually need friends. You only realize it when things are not working, that, hey, I thought I had friends, but I had people who are next to me because of my title.
Oh, yes.
I had people who are next to me because of where I work.
Yes.
I had people who want to identify with me because of the doors I'll open for them.
Yes. What they
but
can
not
get
what they can get from me.
out of you.
But not people who are you because of you.
You.
Someone who comes here, I'm sitting with Joseph, not Joseph who runs this fantastic podcast. I'm sitting with Joe, and I'm just here to see Joe.
Yes.
Not Joe who's great at the gym and stuff. It gets to that particular point where you realize, oh, this is actually a friend, and this is actually someone who's trying to just hang around me because of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it's good to discern that early,
because
we all don't have so much time to live.
Yeah. So and just to pivot on that, you talk about, of course, friendships and especially their role for men in terms of difficulties. What have you seen in terms of the role of your father in helping you through seasons of pain, pressure, and just personal turmoil? How has friends walk with you? Yes. But there's a point friends can reach, to be honest.
There's only so far.
Friends can only go so far. As someone who has gone through, I'm sure you've gone through some tough seasons in your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
How have you seen your father show up for you? And how has that shaped how you've seen those seasons for yourself?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think when going through tough seasons in life or challenges in life, those are the moments that I think I've gotten really, really close to my dad.
Yeah.
The reason I say that is, yes, friends can only go so far, and at some point, friends, get you to where they possibly can within their capability.
Yes.
And from there, it's not like you're on your own, but they've gotten you to. They've done everything they could.
They're also going through. Stuff.
Everybody's going through stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody's stuff.
Yeah.
But when it comes to having a dad and a present dad, one thing I've seen, one is consistency. The second thing I've seen from my dad, especially when going through a tough time or struggling by myself, especially one of the things you struggle with as a man, and I'll speak for myself, is you have this shame or this thing of, but let me go to my dad once I've sorted things out.
Yeah.
But he's there. He's knocking on that door. He's calling me every day. He's coming to sit with me and say nothing. He's coming to encourage me and stuff. And he's persistent at it. And he's not getting tired.
Yeah.
Somebody you're like, man, this old man,
this old man is not. With my...
This old man should get tired and just let me deal with the challenges I have in life. But he's there.
Yeah.
He's there. And the demonstration of love by him just being there and being consistent and telling you, hey, whatever you're going through, I am here.
I'm here.
Has brought me to be very close to my dad. You know, sometimes when you struggle, you don't even call them much because you're up in your head, you know, battling so many things, trying to deal with whatever life has presented to you. But that guy is calling at 9 a.m. You see his call. You know, you miss it, is calling you at 11 a.m. You miss it, is calling you in the evening, and he's doing that every day. Every single day. And you realize there's friends, but having a dad who's alive, present, and doing what he's doing is not something a friend can do. It's something I think only a dad can be able to do. And him just being present and being consistent in supporting that particular way has made us better friends. He's helped me learn to deal with vulnerability quite well. He helped me learn to deal with challenges very, very well. And he's helped me to be, you know, more open and not just helping my two boys to be better men at expressing myself, but even my younger brothers. I have two younger brothers who also are looking up to me. So, I mean, dad being present, dad being consistent, dad traveling in and out, because he's in Kisumu, I'm in Nairobi. He'll tell you, hey, are you around this weekend? Are you out of the country? And I'm around. They tell you, oh, on Saturday I'm here. Why don't you have breakfast and lunch? And, you know, some weekends you're like, no, but dad, you just stay in Kisumu. I'm okay. I just want to sit and sleep and think about it. You're like, no, come. You come, you have breakfast, you have lunch, he talks. Sometimes he doesn't even ask you about whatever is challenging. He's like, let's just have lunch. Let's just enjoy a good meal. And he travels just back presence, in the evening. And you realize the power of presence. And the power of just seeing your dad across the table. And the power of feeling the love and just seeing someone who is rooting for you, irrespective of however difficult or whatever challenge you're going through, whatever grain you're going through. Someone is just rooting for you to be able to get your head out of the water. And that's something you can't even explain in words. That's something you just have to experience and appreciate that in your lifetime, you had or you have a father who's able to do that for you.
And how does pain and difficult season impact how you father or how you show up as a father for us who are fathers?
It's tough. It's tough when you're going through a difficult season and when you're at pains, because you have this relentless goal to always show up 100% for your sons or for your children. And it's difficult sometimes when, you know, you've really had a maybe tough day, tough week, tough month, tough season. You get to the evening, these kids expect you to be whole. These kids expect someone who's coming with 200% energy to deal with them. And a lot of times, especially when you're having, you know, tough days or tough seasons, you'd come, you'd put up a show. Then when they go to bed is when you break down, you're in your thoughts, you lose your sleep. You try to let it all out. You have no avenue to pretty much unpack. Then the next day you have to pick that backpack and move. So it's a case of, you know, you're climbing 14 mountains and trying to climb one at a time. So going through those motions and still being able to be present for your children is tough. There's times when you know, you're having a tough season, tough time, and your children can see through you. I saw it in my dad when he was you know, struggling and he would fall asleep on the chair. I can see it sometimes, you know, when it's been a long day, it's been tough, it's been a tough season. And your son just tells you, Dad, you're not looking okay. And I realize sometimes it's okay to tell your son that, hey, today I'm not okay, my son. Today I'm winded out. Today it's been a long day. Today I've struggled at work. He might not understand what you struggle with at work, but let me tell you, that boy, when he's 16, he'll remember you being vulnerable to him, telling him that, you know what, not today all days are perfect. Today was just a tough day, and Dad struggled. So one of the things I've realized is it's okay to be imperfect sometimes in front of your sons. It's okay to let them know that you know, Dad had a tough day or Dad had a tough season. But irrespective of that, he still loves them and he's still there for them. It's okay for them to know when your energy sometimes are low that hey, look, you're just human. Because one thing I picked from my dad growing up is, of course, this is Superman.
Yes.
And later I was like, why is Superman tired?
Yes.
But even Superman has to put his drape on the side sometimes
yes,
and rest.
yes,
So
yeah.
it's important for kids to also see that and appreciate that, because it will not change how much they love you. I
Yeah.
mean, they will just know, their dad works too hard, or the dad also has difficult season, the dad also struggles, and does not change who you are as a father. I think as men, we think we start feeling a sense of shame when we appear weak in
Yes,
front of our
yes,
children,
yes,
or
yes.
appear weak in front of our boys and girls.
Yeah.
And weakness does not necessarily translate to you being less of a man, or you being less of a great father. I think it just shows that you're human and you're whole.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you have holes punched in your chest, it's an okay, because life has seasons, life has journeys, and
Yeah.
it's the beauty of appreciating all seasons and journeys in
Yeah.
life that make it beautiful. And if kids grow up knowing that much as their dad is the Superman,
Yeah.
dad also takes a break, just as they need to take a break
Yes,
to
yes,
refuel
absolutely.
and recharge and get
Yeah.
back to what they are. And I realized it makes them better children, because I
Yeah.
realized the moment I told my elder son Jabari that, hey, look, it's just been a tough day.
Yeah.
I'm sorry today I don't have the energy to play PS, but we'll just do homework and pray.
Yeah.
The next day he wrote me a note and I stuck it on my wall. He just said, Daddy, I love you very much. You're the best. You're the best dad in the world. And I
Yeah.
stuck it in my office. And I realized weeks after that, he kept writing me notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Telling me, Daddy, if you have a long day, it's okay.
Yeah.
And I kept just sticking them in the office. Yeah.
You talk about the aspect of shame and just that vulnerability.
Yeah.
Tell me how can we as men or as fathers carry that burden of shame, because society expects a lot from us,
Yeah.
and even our families expect much from us. And we are not perfect men. You and I are not perfect men. We've had our struggles. We just like every other father.
Yeah.
I have a son and a daughter. You have two sons. How do we navigate this aspect of shame and just dealing with the challenges that we have? One, without necessarily appearing like we've given up, but being able to carry our shame sort of with honor, that this is part of who I am. How do you navigate that? Maybe how did you see your dad navigate it, and how are you navigating it? Are there some lessons you learned from him, and that you've carried through to your life now as a father?
For sure. I
Yeah.
think the first thing when it comes to perhaps shame and struggle is, instead of running away from it, you need to embrace it.
Embrace it.
It's easier said than done,
Yeah,
because
it's tough.
when you're in the season where you have that looking straight you in the eye,
Yeah.
the first thing you want to do is run away from it.
Yes.
You want to hide. You want to go under a rock somewhere.
Yeah.
Not realizing sometimes walking through the storm is easier than trying to pretty much go around it. It's a shorter trip, because you're cutting through the circle rather than trying to circumnavigate it.
Yeah.
Just seeing my dad growing up, dealing with his struggles, and him perhaps stretching himself and not finding avenues to do that. One of the things I also saw him do much later is, my dad got together a couple of his, I would say, close friends.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they're the last 6, because there were 10. They started something called Club 10. So there were 10 dudes. They would get together every month, and I think they would talk their stuff, because we were never in those engagements.
Yeah.
He started this a very long time ago, because he's been doing Club 10 for over 30 years.
Oh, okay.
So he has these friends that he's been working with for, I think, 30 years, men.
Yes.
Some of them have died.
Yeah.
Because they're in the season where some of them are old and stuff.
Yeah.
But they've still maintained that camaraderie and community. And in those spaces, the little I know, because I've spent so much time with my dad.
Yes.
The little he lets me in is, you know what, these are friends where we can share our challenges. That's how he puts it, where we can share opportunities and where we can build each other. And I would presume, because I've seen him going through decades of having this Club 10,
Yeah.
where they now visit each other with families and all that,
Yeah.
being a space that has helped him become quite lighter, because they sit when they visit home. Of course, we don't spend time there because now kids are always told to,
Yeah.
go away and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
They will laugh, and they will laugh a lot. And he says in their laughter, they share their pain as well. And one of the biggest things I picked from that is, don't run away from shame. Embrace it. And if you can't embrace it, have people around you who can help you embrace it much better. It does not take away everything from you, but embracing it makes you deal with it better, in terms of either coming out of it or having a very different perspective on why perhaps you had to go through a rough patch as a man in life. And embracing brings about, having a good sense of accountability to situations. Because it's one thing to always sit and say, why is this happening to me? And it's another thing to sit and say, this is what I'm doing about the situation.
Yeah.
This is how I'm standing up and moving.
Yeah.
So I've seen that from my dad, from just him doing his it's called Club 10. It's a very nice thing. To me also having a close community of, I would say, friends that I would lean on.
Yeah.
That I would come, and if I'm having a challenge, I will not be ashamed to share. And in sharing, I would feel things are lighter. And in sharing, I realize maybe I'm carrying 100 kgs worth of weight. Someone is carrying 1 ton.
Yeah.
Someone always is dealing with a worse problem than you.
Oh, yes.
You're not the only one going through a challenge in life. Someone is going through a tougher challenge. And the moment you realize, you start empathizing with, the way life is set up.
Yeah.
Because realizing someone is going through maybe a tough season like you, or a difficult challenge like you, and someone is actually handling a bigger problem than you are. You might say, for example, you're at work, things are not working out. Someone is at work, they're about to be fired. That's the worst situation that you are in. Then you start appreciating life better. You start embracing your challenge better. And the moment you start embracing your challenge better, whether it's shame or whatever it is, you pick yourself up much faster. And in picking yourself much faster, you are stronger. In stronger, you move better in situation. Next time you find a challenge, you'll just punch through it, rather than it, putting you down. So some of these things, and you realize when you join those dots backwards that you actually saw your dad do. You didn't think much about it at the time, but when you find yourself doing something similar, you start relating. Oh, so this is what he was trying to do. This is how he was trying to navigate through challenges and pain, and this is how he's trying to navigate through anything that was coming against him. Then you start to appreciate it much better, and you take a flight, or you get into the car, drive back home, and you go tell your dad thank you.
And that's actually a very important point. Or you talk about taking a flight or spending time with your father, and saying thank you to them and what he has done for you. Your father, of course, I've met your father many times. He's an exceptional man. First, always smart. Always, dressed for the occasion. Always taking it very seriously. What needs to be taken seriously. When you look at the life now of your father, I think he's probably in his 70s. You do realize that there's a very short time actually left, if you think about it. What are some of the things that you are doing to help you spend more time and show up to your sons, just like your father has been there intentionally to show up for you? What are some of the things that you would advise fathers out there to try and do in terms of raising their children, in terms of raising specifically their sons in this complex world that we are navigating now? Spending time with him. I'm sure you spent a lot of time with your father. There are things that, for me, for example, my dad has told me that I remember there's something he has actually told me that he told me not to discuss until
the time comes.
Until maybe he's not there or something like that. Are there some? So, how would you advise, the fathers how to navigate that, how to spend time, especially for those of us who have our fathers who are older?
Yeah.
How would you advise us to spend time with our fathers? How would you do it to maintain that bond?
I think the first point is you can never be too busy to spend time with your dad.
Yeah.
And neither can you be too busy to spend time with your son.
Yes.
My dad is now 68, 69, almost turning 70.
Yeah.
And I realize he's perhaps spent most of his life.
Yeah.
They're perhaps on the last mile.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's just the reality of things. And I saw my dad as a child making sure he was there on time for. I will never forget. He was always in time for dinner. You see, that's something that has stuck with me.
Yes.
He was always there for visiting day in school, whether
Yeah.
he would come with a newspaper
Yes.
and breeze with you or
Yes.
not. He never missed that.
Yeah.
My dad never missed a beat in terms of being present for us. And right now, where I have the opportunity to now spend time with him, I maximize on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whether he's coming to visit me or I'm telling me, hey, look, I'm around this weekend, let me fly you into Nairobi, come spend time with the kids.
Yes.
But in that, spend time with me and stuff, I would do that. I've pulled my dad into working with me on projects and doing stuff, and it's brought us closer together. We engage on a daily and all that.
Yeah.
I think we underestimate, you seeing your phone ring and dad is calling and you're picking it up. I think until that does not happen is when we start to realizing how big of an impact this is, your dad calling you, trying to spend time with you.
Yeah.
So my message to dads out there is you can never be too busy for your son. The schedules can never be too tight for your son.
Yeah.
We're in a world where so many things work for us. You have time you can spend with your son. You have technology where that can work for you.
Yes.
Whether you're in Australia, in the US, you can video call your son. You can
Yes.
still have that Bible study with him. You
Yes.
can still work through him with things.
Yeah.
When you're in country, if you're a person who travels a lot, you can take him for football, whatever he likes.
Yes.
Get to understand what their desires are as children, and as they grow up, they will never forget those moments you were there.
Yeah.
You can say many things, you can write many things, but if you are just not there, these children will remember. I remember when my dad was there, and that's why I treasure him so much.
Yes.
And much as they might look like very small things back then, those were seeds he planted that I will live on for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And time is not guaranteed.
Oh, yes.
Don't wait. Don't plan for it tomorrow. If you need to do it today, just do it.
Yeah.
If you need to take that flight or drive down, drive down.
Yeah.
Spend time with that guy.
Yeah.
Drink tea with him.
Yes.
Have some lunch with him.
Yes.
At the age they are right now, they've lost most of their friends.
Yeah.
They've perhaps lost most of their family.
Yes.
And they have very few people that they can call their friends. And you are that friend now.
Yes.
So you need to be very intentional about now being with your dad, especially in that season where you're getting into your 40s, they're getting into their 70s.
Yes.
Because you don't want to start regretting not doing that when they're not there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, it goes beyond intention to just doing it. And not just with your dad, but if you have young boys and girls, if you have children, this is the time to make sure you plant those seeds, because when you get to 70, they'll be playing back and coming to you and spending time with you. If they identify with you not being present for them, that's what they will know. And you getting old and frail, they will know it's not important for them to come and see you.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll call you and they'll think that's enough. But sometimes that presence that you were giving them as a child is what they will now need in their old age, and you have no idea how much of an impact that gives them.
And you speak about how much of an impact that gives your children as a father. What are some of the lessons now you are modeling for your own sons, you as a father? What are some of the things you are modeling for them going forward, and that they should learn from you, basically in terms of maybe faith, financing, hard work, some of the values that you saw your father do it. And before you answer, let me give you a story. There's a time I remember I was with my father, and he was wearing this jacket on. And I remember during this time we we had a lot of financial challenges. And so at some point, even auctioneers had come and auctioned our part of our assets and our stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember my dad removing the jacket he was wearing, the blazer. And behind it was actually, the shirt he was wearing was actually torn. And this just shows the sacrifice of fatherhood. And let me tell you, I don't remember any time in my life I ever lacked clothes.
Yeah.
Even if it was the cheapest from Kibuye or whatever place. But seeing my father wearing a torn shirt, that moment has never disappeared from me. Do you have an instance where you saw a symbol of sacrifice in your father that has stuck with you over time?
So many.
Yeah, maybe you can share if you don't mind.
So
Yeah.
many.
Yeah.
So many. I mean, one,
Yeah.
I can't say that I lacked.
Yeah.
I never lacked.
Yeah.
There was always provision, even if it was strained.
Yes.
There was always provision, even if something will run short. But I would see my dad wear the same outfit in and out until it would, there's a way you can wear a trouser until it starts, it's a giving way color.
Yes. Turns white on the knees.
Yeah, but I remember one time it was I think we were about to get back to school from holidays. And at this time, I think there's this shoes called Taffies by Bata that had come out.
Yeah.
And he had to buy for the three of us.
Yes.
But when my dad was buying us these Taffies, I remember looking at his shoes. And the reason I looked at his shoes is because I was like, why are you not getting for yourself as well?
Yeah.
Man, his shoes were not in good shape.
Yeah.
His shoes were completely, I mean, they had seen life.
Yes.
Yeah, and you could see the way you walk on a shoe until the back part of the sole, it has like a small hole.
Yes.
And they're like, this guy is buying us new shoes.
Yes.
He has the same old shoes he's been wearing through and through. He's not changed his shoes, but he's getting us new shoes going to school. And that moment stuck with me because I was like, but our previous shoes were not so bad. Not so bad. We could work them through.
Yeah.
But he's getting us new shoes and he doesn't have the best of shoes. Then I started becoming a little bit more observant. So what about his socks?
Yeah.
Man, my dad, he would not buy new socks every once in a while.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
he would be decent and stuff, but
Yeah.
sometimes he would stretch the life out of
Yes,
out of it
Yeah.
for our benefit. And that's when I started to be very keen on how is this guy is sacrificing everything that he's got to just make sure myself and my two lovely brothers are in school, have provision and everything. And I started not to take a lot of moments for granted where I was like, but dad, I need this textbook. Dad, I need this. Dad, this bike.
Yeah.
I remember when I got that number 2, that bike took another term for it to come.
Yes.
But looking back, is this guy had to get a lot of things together to just make sure I have that bike because it's a promise he gave me.
Made, yeah.
Yeah. So I have so many moments where I saw practically my dad pretty much bending over backwards, at his expense for our success and my success. And those moments have stuck with me to date in terms of him doing the ultimate sacrifice to our benefit.
Yeah. And you talk about that sacrifice, and what are some of the ways that you now are honoring your father? Because a lot of men, we come to Nairobi or we go to Australia, whatever place we are, and somehow we forget about our fathers, even though at the back of the mind we appreciate sometimes the sacrifice that they made. You now, as Lenin, what are some of the ways that you're using to actually honor your father in his old age, in his advanced age? What are some of the things that you're doing to show that, Dad, you may not say, Dad, I love you, all the time, but like you said earlier, he showed you love through action.
Yeah.
What are some of the ways that you're actually honoring him now in his position as your father and as your principal advisor?
Yeah, one of the things I'm doing and I keep doing is much as expression of love was through action as children.
Yeah.
Right now I tell my dad as many times as I can that I do love him,
Perfect.
and I do remind him a lot of times that when you did this, when you did that as children,
Yes.
I actually was observing,
Mhm.
and I'm seeing that now manifest in our lives right now, and
Yeah.
that did not go for granted, and
Yeah.
it gives him a lot of satisfaction knowing that perhaps him doing that at the time, he didn't know that we are actually realizing how much he's working hard, but
Yes.
us or me telling him right now gives
Mhm.
him a lot of satisfaction.
Mhm.
Some of the other ways I'm honoring my dad is beyond just demonstrating to the two boys love through action.
Yes.
I actually go a step further and talk to them through it.
Okay.
I've taught my sons to say, Dad, I love you at a very young age.
Yes.
Something that, I would see through action, but now they can express themselves through
Yes.
it.
Yes. Yes.
And my dad, now as a grandfather, can see the grandkids telling him the same,
Yes.
that, we love you, Babu, and
Yes.
things of the sort. And it gives him a whole sense of satisfaction.
Mhm.
I honor my dad through some of the discipline and values that he put in us
Yeah.
as young boys, in
Yeah.
terms of the first assignment you do is make your bed. I do that every single day.
Yeah.
You never be late for meetings, never be late for any engagement. I try not to be late on anything I do.
Yeah.
My dad, despite the challenges we had, raising three boys, and sometimes provision becomes tough,
Yeah.
always tried to be smart.
Yeah.
So I try to make sure my first impression in how I show up, I'm
Yes.
always smart and
Yes.
presentable,
Yes.
whatever occasion I'm going to.
Mhm.
And the biggest way I'm honoring my dad is to be present. My
Yeah.
dad is present for me even at my current age,
Yeah.
and I'm doing everything in my grain to be present for the boys.
Yes.
That's I think that's the biggest gift I've given my dad, in terms of picking something from him and playing the
Yeah.
card forward.
Mm.
Yeah.
And in terms of, you and I have had a good example. Do you sometimes feel the pressure to match up
Oh yeah.
to this man? I remember when my dad
Always.
retired, I was telling him, man, I wrote him a letter during his retirement party, and I was telling him, Dad, if I can only be half the man you are, I would consider
Yeah.
myself
Yeah, yeah,
successful.
yeah.
Do you
Oh yeah.
do you feel the pressure, and how do you sometimes deal with this?
I feel the pressure so much, especially as a firstborn, and
Yes.
just seeing my dad lead. I try to emulate him a lot of times in how he leads or how he moves, not just with the two boys, but also with my two younger brothers. And I feel the pressure a lot of times to be the man that my dad is.
Yeah.
To be as composed as him. Sometimes even in a tough work meeting, I'm like, let me be as composed as dad, so that
That
I
would be.
just handle this situation better. Even when faced with challenges, I'm like, let me listen like that, then pace myself, and then before I speak. I have so much pressure all the time to be the kind of man that my dad is, and sometimes that pressure gets me to overthink.
Yes.
Gets
Yes.
me to
Yes.
start thinking, hey, am I doing enough?
Mhm.
Set me to start. Sometimes you feel a level of inadequacy because you're not matching up to
Mhm.
who you looked up to as your dad.
Mhm.
So the pressure is good. The pressure reminds me of what I need to do, but the pressure sometimes can make me crumble, because I'm like,
Yeah.
but I don't feel like I'm 50% this
This
kind
guy. Yeah.
to this guy.
Mhm.
So what I occasionally do, especially when I feel like the pressure is too much, is I call him and tell him, hey, I'm in this situation.
Yeah.
I'm trying to handle it the best way. I've seen you handle situations like this. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then sometimes it gives me perspective.
Yeah.
Sometimes it tells me to calm down.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes it tells me to chill, and
Yeah.
sometimes it actually gives me advice.
Yeah.
And that helps me to calibrate, those moments where I feel the pressure is too much in terms of how I'm trying to match up to him. Because there's a silent voice that feels like I'm letting him down when I'm not like him, especially in handling situations. And the good thing is given me that safety space to be able to call him even
Yeah.
in those situations, and it really helps me to calibrate it much better. Yeah.
And so in terms of that calibration, getting that support from your father, how does that transition to what fatherhood means to you today? What does it mean to you today when you see Jabali and Deco, your sons. What does fatherhood mean to you? And how do you reflect that maybe to them?
For me, I think it's fatherhood gives me a strong sense of purpose.
Purpose, yes.
Yeah, so purpose.
Tell me
is,
more about that.
Yeah. The reason fatherhood gives me a strong sense of purpose, you don't just look at two boys who want to be who you want them to be better than yourself.
Yes.
But you look at two boys who you wake up to every day and you want to do everything to make them succeed in whatever they do.
Yeah.
Whether it's opportunity, whether it's a struggle with homework, whether it's challenges in school, whether it's they're afraid to go to the dentist or the hospital.
Yes, yes.
You want to be that knight in shining armor for them.
Yeah.
But you don't just want to be the knight in shining armor for them. You also want to be a guiding light. So there's a sense of deep purpose that fatherhood brings. And, purpose is one thing. But I think the other thing is also directionally putting the right values in your sons to be able to align with that particular purpose.
Yeah.
While you could sit and say it gives you a lot of purpose, I mean, you can't sit and die with purpose.
Yeah, true.
It has to now demonstrate in what
Yeah.
they do every
Yeah.
single day. And it gets me to think a lot. It gets me to reflect a lot, not just about how I learned through fatherhood, having a present father, but also how I'm now a father and
Yeah.
how am I making it even better than the experience I had.
Yeah.
So it's hard to unpack how purpose lands on you, but it's that silent voice that sometimes keeps you going, even when everything does
When
not
it's
make
heavy,
sense.
yes.
Especially when things are heavy.
Yeah.
You pretty much default to it and you tap your energy back and you're like, you know what? Everything could be crumbling apart, but
Yeah.
these two guys are here and you're doing it for them, and you find yourself so selfless in being present and doing it for them. And for me, that's what has defined and shaped my fatherhood to date. I feel indebted when I'm late or when I miss a football game if I'm not around. And I feel so good when I'm there. Like this morning, I left Jabali playing a tournament, and I felt so good just being there.
Yes. Yes.
Because he's opening. I'm telling you, Daddy, but I don't think I'm striking so well. I think these players are stronger than me. Then you tell him, no. In this position, this is what you do, and you see that confidence beaming out of him.
Yeah.
And imagine that's the sense of satisfaction that nothing beats.
Yeah.
To just see what you're calling as purpose demonstrate and see it in action in your children.
Yeah.
Nothing beats that as a father. And I think possibly my dad, he had moments of those with us, but I'm having so many of those moments because I'm making it very intentional to see that purpose even as they're growing up. Yeah.
And speaking about that purpose and setting example, how would you want your sons to remember you as a father? How would you want them to remember you as Lenin? Of course, as fathers, we go through tough times.
Yeah.
We have tough seasons. We have good seasons that we are shining and we are moving forward. How would you want your sons to remember you as a father? Realizing that you could go with them until you're 90. You could go with them until you're 41.
Yeah.
You really don't know, to be honest. Yeah. How would you want them to remember you?
I'd want my sons to remember me as a friend to start with. And I'd want my sons to remember me as, yes, they would see me as their hero.
Yeah.
But I want them to remember me as a human being.
Humanize, yeah.
Someone who was human enough to be great, but someone who was also human enough to have gone through challenges.
Yes.
Someone who was human enough to run out of energy at some point.
Yes.
Someone who's human enough to experience different seasons of life.
Yeah.
I'd want my sons to remember me as someone who was not afraid to share his struggles.
Yes.
Someone who's not afraid to be weak. Someone who didn't run away from failure. But most of all, someone who feared God in all those seasons. I'd want my sons to remember me for that. So besides the discipline, having a value system and all, I'd want them to see, they have a dad who's a friend. They have a dad who was not afraid of bad or tough seasons.
Yeah.
They have a dad who was not afraid to show his weakness.
Yeah.
And also not afraid to show his strength.
Yeah.
Because I want them to see all facets of someone who was a dad to them and someone who was role
A
model
whole
to them.
man,
A
yeah.
whole man.
Yes,
A whole
yeah,
man. Not
yes.
part of me that was just strong.
Yes.
But every facet of me that I present to the table.
Yeah.
And I think they will appreciate that,
Yeah.
you know, growing into adults in their lives.
Yeah. So, and I think that brings us to a very important point. There are things that men feel deeply.
Yeah.
Yeah. But rarely say out loud when they have a chance. So I asked you to do something earlier, and this is your opportunity. The thing I asked you to do, it's something I've asked also my other guests, and it's an opportunity for you. And I'm sure I'll share this with Dad eventually. And I asked you to share it with Dad to express that. So when you're ready, you can go ahead and just read through the letter, and then we can see if we can continue.
Happy
Please,
to.
yeah.
Digitize this thing, but
Yes.
I went old school on this one.
Yes, yes. There's a reason I asked for that handwriting. Handwritten, yeah.
So I took
feel
my
free.
time.
We have enough time. Just go through it.
So I
Yes.
so I wrote my dad a letter.
Yeah.
It's dated 15th May 2026. I wrote it at what time? 6:30 p.m. yesterday. And this is my letter to my dad. Okay. So, dear Dad,
Take your time.
yeah. Dear Dad, I'm glad you're alive. You know why? I get the opportunity not just to write your letter, but to express to you how you have and still have a huge impact in my life. I appreciate so many things about you and could spend the whole day talking about them. It's only until adulthood that I got to express the words love to you and how much I love and admire you. Joining the dots backwards, you showed me and my two lovely brothers, love through action. You taught me presence, and seeing you there was better than any assurance a son would need. You taught me the value of time, something I'm identified with everywhere I go. I've never fully told you how your act of service to mom has been the purest demonstration of love in action. Your calm spirit and firm voice has molded me into a man who can walk through a storm, take time to read and absorb all energies, a man who's comfortable and confident to go against the grain, a man who has learned that leading starts with leading myself. Dad, you've shown me that leaning on God in all seasons as a solemn choice is a solemn choice that can take me through everything. You have shown me and my brothers that I can lack today and tomorrow God can provide. And it's a testimony of faith that I see in action. Dad, there are many things that I didn't understand as a child that I now do and I deeply appreciate. Those quiet moments you would watch the three of us play, decompress after a tough day, smile despite business not going well. In those moments and season, which are frozen in time for me, I realize you are a man who was and is raising their sons genuinely and wanted to see us be better versions than yourself. Dad, I have so many moments frozen in time. And one I remember when you would teach me how to cook ugali when mom had traveled, how to make beans, how would buy chapati. You stood in the gap in those seasons. And as three boys in the household, we felt you having our backs. I will never forget when I became number two in class six and you got me that BMX bike. I will never forget when I would wake up to study in primary school at 5 a.m. and you'd wake up and sit with me and just read your newspaper. I will never forget as a child, you took me to your office, and that's where I started dreaming of running my own office and just seated there, seeing you do your thing. I want to tell you that at 39, that dream is still alive and I'm closer to it. I see myself in you in so many ways, and you in me, besides the striking resemblance. I see a relentless pursuit for excellence. I look up to you even as a grown man, and I pray I become the man that you are. That I hope and pray to carry forward so many things, so many values to the two boys, Jabali and Teko. The biggest being the unconditional love, the spirit of calmness, and I hope and pray time is a value system they take up and they fear God. Dad, you are one man who would stop everything and travel just to have tea, lunch, spend time. You call just to check up. You encourage and give advice, providing a safe space and allowing me to be vulnerable with you, knowing it's okay to feel things as a man. It's okay to process emotion. It's okay to lack. And it's okay to lean on you in those seasons. I could write a book on the many things that you have not just taught me, but have shown me. You've shown me how to lead by how you treat mom, how you steered our family, how you led the household, and how you've taught me how to lead my two amazing young brothers who have now grown up into men right now. I remember when you got the first car, it was a Ford, it's a KDR 123, and how excited we were. And later I realized that it was our joy that drove you to keep working hard and harder. And as children, we were excited for the new car. But as a dad, our excitement was your fuel to keep working harder to provide for us. As a young boy in school, you would encourage me to be more confident, and I did become more confident. Being an introvert, you encouraged me to speak up and spoke life into me. Now I can't even count the number of stages I've spoken to and how confident I've got. You taught me how to tie my tie, do my shoelace, and each time I teach your grandkids, Sifa and Teko, I vividly remember how you taught me as well. Dad, I'll miss so many things if I don't if I don't have you around. We've gotten so close as I grew older, and the biggest one I will miss is your presence. You've shown me what it means to stand in line, hold my hand in all seasons. I always feel you near me, and it gives me so much confidence and courage to go through anything I face in life. I will miss your gentle spirit if I don't have you around, and the fear of God that you've taught me every day. You've taught me that little is more. You taught me that listening more and speaking less does not sell me short. That having the boldest dreams and pursuing them is all possible. That punching through the clouds is better than going round. I will miss your unconditional love that has stood the test of time, and part of me that is with you every single day. I would miss my compass, my direction, someone who always told me to follow my passion, someone who taught me about leadership from the basic ethos, someone who taught me that failing is not the end and picking myself up is what will always define me. I'm lucky to call you dad, and I'm lucky to have you alive, and I'm lucky I'm raising two sons who look up to me the same way I look up to you. I love you, my dad. Lenin. That's it.
How does that feel?
First, it feels amazing. It feels
Yeah.
liberating, and it feels like there's so much I still need to tell my dad while he's alive, that I still need to keep doing and telling him, so that he knows the biggest impact he's had, not just on my lives, but on our lives as boys. It feels there's so much that he has done that goes beyond what I just penned down on those 4 pages. And yeah, I'm so grateful to God that he's still alive,
Yeah.
and I have a chance to still unpack all that with him.
Yeah. So I want you to give this to your dad next time you meet him.
Absolutely.
Let him read it. But also, each year, if you can, write a letter to your father and remind him of the sacrifices he's made and how you're carrying on that legacy as a man.
Absolutely.
Today, we've spoken about so many things. Is there anything else that you'd have liked us to speak about that we have not?
I think just in the speaking about dads and fathers, I feel it's something that's not spoken to enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how much you can speak more about fathers, fatherhood, dads present or not, because men need to speak more about this, and men need to relate more about what they're doing as fathers, future fathers. You don't have to, even those who are looking to be fathers, they don't have to wait for fatherhood to hit them to start realizing what they need to do about this.
Yeah.
And I think even as we speak about fatherhood, the good, the bad, the ugly,
Yes.
what we can speak more about too is, the failures in fatherhood, and how fathers have picked themselves out of failure, because I think there's so many fathers who are failing not out of their liking.
Yeah.
Some are out of circumstance, some are because they are not led well.
Yeah.
And I think so many men need to learn from the challenges of failure that come with fatherhood. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Lenin, for your time.
Thank you.
A blueprint is a gift, but it is also a responsibility. Because one day, you stop being the son who received it, and you become the man who must live it. This is the B4 project. Thank you.
Thank you.